You know, it's not so much about what would I have said. It's actually important of like, what are you saying to yourself right now? Because I have bigger dreams. That first song, it was cool, but I want a global Billboard #1. That's what I want. So, and then on to the next dream. So we continuously updating our dream list, continuously challenging ourselves, seeing how far I can stretch myself. I'm hella curious about myself and my own journey.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of LP Vlogs. This is episode 7. This is a very special episode that we have in store for you guys. We're going to be meeting up with J'Something at Artistry. He's going to be showing us around in terms of the space, the community, and just the overall aesthetic of the building that they were able to curate. We were so inspired by what he has going on here. And before we get into this video, massive thanks to J'Something for taking the time to show us around, sharing a couple of pointers which myself and Neo can relate to, but you guys will see throughout this video. And if you do enjoy this type of content, let us know in the comments, smash that like button and consider subscribing. So excited for this episode. So sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee and let's prop in. Right, we are at the Artistry in Sandton, guys. And as I've said, today it's a very interesting episode. We're doing something a little bit different this time. Jay, we normally go around showing people houses, beautiful spaces, but today we thought let's expand a bit and show people this beautiful space.
Well, you still at a house, you know, you still at a home.
Well, in that sense, we decided to show you guys the Artistry, which is in Sandton, Friedman Road, and this has recently opened. So excited to have you on the channel again. Thank you so much.
What a vibe,
We're grateful for this.
Thank you for having me.
Joining us on our journey, and you're going to be showing us around.
Let's go. We ready?
Yes, sir.
Shall we start in the theater?
Let's go.
Let's go. It's, the one event that I think you guys should come to is our Sunday event. It's once a month, last Sunday of every month. It's called Sundays Are for Therapy. And it's a full day out in the city. American barbecue upstairs, some cool DJs. Down here, we do a market, so we showcase young South African creatives, photographers, illustrators, fashion designers, the whole bunch. So here it's normally filled with more things, but it's kind of like a little room that we're developing now to work on South African arts and showcasing. But I want to show you the space that kind of was that aha moment, that moment of like, okay, I'm keen to do this. And it was the theater.
So, J'Something. Alright, so we're seated like right in the heart of Sandton, which is notorious for having like all sorts of established hotel networks and places for recreation, right? So why did you choose this space? And what made you conclude that Black Brick would be the best partner to pioneer artistry?
I sat there on those chairs in the very first opening days, actually before we even opened, and I said to my wife, I'm like, we're in Sandton, baby. We have a restaurant, a platform in Sandton. So when it comes to that, I mean, we all know what Sandton is, you know? And it's important, but it's also not important. I don't want to make as if it's like really important because it's the richest square mile in Africa, but I mean, like, I can't believe that food, music, my brand, my journey has brought me to this point in my life where I can say, welcome to Artistry in the heart of Sandton. Honestly, it could have been anywhere in the world. You know, it's all about opportunity-based things. You know, your life takes you on a journey and you walk. And if you walk in a way that you're present and that you are taking in what's happening and that you're trying to reach for your dreams and kind of try and achieve these dreams in the time that we have given to us, it was an opportunity that popped out at me. Initially, when my partner, my co-founder, Jonathan Liebman, asked me, hey dude, do you want to do a restaurant? I actually said no. And then we came here and then we walked the building and I saw an old conference room that was part of the old law firm that used to be in this building. And I'm like, dude, here's Artistry. And he was like, no, this is a conference room. I'm like, nah, man, this is the heart of it all. This is what's gonna make us be able to walk on our own path and not feel like we're here to compete with others. We don't compete with anybody. I don't. And it was the theater that brought it all to life. So, yeah, why Sandton? I don't know, man. We have to ask Grootman upstairs why. It was an opportunity that came my way, and what's more important is here we are in Sandton, dude. It's crazy for me.
And like hearing you speak about this entire space, for me it feels like you're creating a space that a younger version of yourself would have loved.
Hell yeah, man. We have a responsibility as people, in my opinion, to pass on, right? We wouldn't have, for example, the Bible if nobody passed on those little things that they went through, or movies, or songs, or stories. Preservation of our culture is really important. Preservation of our stories. So yeah, I walked in. Hey, Mawetu, what's happening? Mawetu runs all our programming of events and experiences. Yeah.
Nice to meet you, man.
So I walked in here, it looked completely different to this. It was like a rundown conference room. And I was like, wow, man, imagine. This is my, you know, you have to be innocent in your approach, bro. You have to be like kids when you dream. When we get older, we lose our innocence. I sat in this chair and I thought, fuck, dude, imagine watching Ongeziwe Mabandla here. Imagine seeing Zoe Modiga. Imagine just being this close to Trevor Noah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm allowed to dream that far. Why not? Why can I not see Kevin Hart here when he comes again? Why can I not see Alicia Keys here when she comes? Or now we have this Hello Neighbor, her is coming and Khalid is coming. Imagine, just imagine. And that's the power of those words. Just imagine.
It's crazy, like the more you grow up, it's like the more you neglect that side of dreaming.
Yes.
It's like people tell you, be realistic.
Yes, and I hate that
Sometimes
shit,
you don't
man,
want-
because
I
it's
wanna
like,
be realistic,
yeah, man, I wanna pursue life like a kid. I don't wanna lose my innocence, man. I wanna believe that, because that's all we can do. We can hope, you know, and hope is a beautiful word because it's I hope, it's like I pray, I hope. It's an unknown. So I hope one day to have a Billboard #1. I hope one day to see the Soil in here, and I did. It was my dream to have the Soil open up the theater, and they were the first musicians to open up the theater. It was my dream to see some of the A-list comedians in here, and I had Jason Goliath, you know, I had the guys here, man. I had like real amazing artists at what they do. And I've also seen Mpho Sebina from Botswana, a young, a beautiful artist. She's incredibly talented. I saw her throw her own show here. So we're getting there. Month by month, all these things start to happen by just saying, yo, imagine we could have this person here. So this we do, here we do movie premieres, we do music video premieres, we do art performances, we do comedy, we do workshops. This space is here for the creatives of South Africa, of the world, to come and use, to celebrate, to showcase, and to preserve culture. Preservation for us is very important. It's what you guys are doing. You're filming, you're documenting, you're preserving. And here we try and film, record audio of everything that happens in here so that we can preserve and also create additional opportunities for artists through licensing. So it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I say to you, the food is really good here, but it's not what we're about. We do dope food. It's just not only about that. We're not a restaurant. There's so much more to this place that we're trying to unfold. So this is for me what I call the heart of artistry. And then now I will take you guys to the next step. We're doing a little bit of it in reverse because I wanted to show you this. This is where it kind of is the heart. And then we've got two other platforms that are attached to this that actually form the whole journey. So we've got the listening bar and we've got the rooftop restaurant. So I'll show you the listening bar now. This is like a good idea of like our program. So we all develop this as we go, right? Bit by bit, one day at a time. Do what you can, make sure that it's a really cool experience. Every month that we do it, again, we refine, we improve. This is the month of May, a night out with Julian Gomes. We do it first Thursdays of every month. House party, only the classics. Mother's Day, obviously specific to a month. Artistry Movie Club, classic movie in the theater in conjunction with Bioscope. And we do a dinner before the movie, and your ticket includes everything. Artistry Live, this month we got Langa Mavuso, who's an incredible friend, a phenomenal voice, a mad talent. And we do that on a monthly, and Sundays are for therapy, also on a monthly basis. So we do this on a monthly basis.
On this journey, like putting all these things together, how important is collaboration?
It's at the heart of it. We've got a thing here, it's an internal document that I constantly work on, which is the dialogue of artistry. What are the words we use? What is important to us, you know? So collaboration is at the heart of it all. You know, nobody, if you can as a business owner start to understand that nobody works for you. That is like I don't want to say slavery mentality, but for me, everybody works with me. Because I cannot do all the service of the hot chocolates and the coffees and the drinks. I need somebody who's going to help me do that. So here, collaboration is viewed from ground up, right up until the point where you guys say, yo, we've got a let's prop in film that we want to showcase. Can we use the theater? Of course you can. It's here for you. Collaboration. It's got to be collaboration. Hey, how are you, bro? Good. Nice to see you guys, man. So this was another really cool step of the journey, the listening bar. Wanted to create a space that we could listen to dope music, right? Not be drowned by dope music, listen to dope music, come and listen, come and appreciate. Focus is one of the greatest things that you can ever give to any artist. People are gonna watch this YouTube, I don't know how long your videos are, but if somebody watches a 15-minute video on YouTube, they've given you a lot. They've given you their time. And you know what time is? Time is our greatest resource. It's the only thing that we actually have. So here, the listening bar, our little DJ booth, all the furniture, refurbished furniture from the 50s, 60s, 70s. Here we focus on the artistry of mixology. So we've got dope cocktails, and you can order a pizza down here. You can have a few little bar snacks. We've got an inside and an outdoor area. We're going to be filling this wall with dope South African art soon.
And also seems like a very intimate, very cozy setting inside.
You know, the word listening bar was very strategic. It's like, it's all about sitting down with your friends and actually having a conversation whilst there's some nice drinks, some nice music, a good vibe. It's not about turn up. We turn up very differently here. We turn up where it's like, we feel like it's rich. It's like I actually left here and I'm like, not only did I have kick-ass time, but I actually got to connect with my boys. I got to connect with my friends. I got to connect with the people I love. So yeah, intimacy is a big part of the strategy. Outdoor area, people come out here, they love it out here. I love it out here. And then the last step, which I guess is why I was saying it's in reverse. The journey was really important. How do I in Joburg go out for a once-in-a-lifetime experience? How do I go out for a full night out on the town, right? That idea of that phrase. And that is all happening here under one roof. You are able to have dinner, grab a pre-drink or an after-party drink in the listening bar, watch a piece of entertainment. So you can do it all under one roof, and that's the journey. The last thing I want to show you guys is the restaurant where we serve up some food.
So we get to explore quite a bit more of the space, right, including the theatre and whatnot. But so far, we've got a glimpse of even the menu, right? We saw there's some Portuguese entrees there, and chakalaka is actually one of the first features in the intro of your menu.
Sure.
So what inspired the palette of the menu of this place, and what kind of culinary experience should guests expect?
I think you have to, with artistry, allow me to go a little bit bigger than just what inspired the food. What inspired everything here is the classics, the things that have stood the test of time, the things that have been celebrated for centuries, for years, you know? So what has inspired this whole platform are the classics. From the food, to the drinks, to the decor, to everything you see here. So in other words, we are inspired by the things that have stood the test of time. So when you see chakalaka, when you see piri piri chicken, or you see gambas con alho, or you see fish and chips, or you see curry and rice, or steak and potatoes, or pizza, or a burger, it's here because that's what we dig for a long time. I mean, I think you guys like pizza, you like burgers, you like a steak and chips. Like, man, that's the food I dig. I think that's the food that majority of people dig. And why? Because those things have, for some reason, stood the test of time. So when it came to developing everything here, not just the food, what you can expect is a celebration of the classics. Even when you come to Artistry Movie Club, which is our monthly movie event, You will eat something classic. You'll watch a classic movie in the theater. Nothing trendy here. We wait for the trendy things to see if they can become classics, you know? So yeah, the whole menu, everything here is a celebration of the classics.
I think that's one of like, well, I'll speak for myself personally. It's one of like the missing things in this contemporary modern time of entertainment, going out. It's that you'd go out, but in terms of you go back home and like your soul and like your spirit isn't filled up. You felt as though you didn't connect with anyone, you didn't enjoy your time, you just went out and showed your face there. I think in this platform, in this space that you guys are creating, you're creating a platform and a space, but you're also creating memories.
Yeah.
Which I think when you're old and everything is done, that's the only thing you have.
Yes.
The memories of the past and the way in which you lived your life.
I get you. I think like one of the things that I wanted to add to that is that, you know, we've become so accustomed to always compare things.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of things would benefit from less comparison. So even though I completely get what you're saying, I just want to add to that and say that I think all the other places, they serve a purpose. We just have, and that what's cool about what you said is, in my opinion, this is what you're doing. So then I appreciate it, because then it's not a generalized comment in comparison to others. It's just what you feel. And hopefully it's what other people feel. And that's the magic of it, is building things that hopefully connect with others, you know? So this is what we call our rooftop restaurant. This is the traditional sense of, I'm coming for a meal. I'm gonna have a good time around food and wine and drinks, and I'm gonna enjoy the rooftop, and you are in the heart of Sandton.
Before we go into like the offerings and surroundings, just looking at the actual construction, the aesthetic of the entire place.
Yes.
It's very raw materials. I mean, the plaster is plastered, but it's not painted.
Yes.
The flooring, it's this raw exposed brick, but it's not grouted.
Sure.
Exposed roof. Was that intentional? Because I love this vibe.
Hell
it's
yeah.
very refreshing.
Hell yeah.
It gives me an inviting, not a superficial look.
Unpretentious.
Yeah.
It's minimal in the most beautiful way. I think minimal is another way of saying it's just enough. You know, when you make music, one of the things that I always think is one of the hardest things to do is to actually make a really simple song. A lot of musicians want to overwork things, and that there's a place for that. But in my career, I've always appreciated the simple melodies, the simple things, because they work with me and they work with the people that dig what we do. So here, although a lot of it is still a work in progress, is that rather less is more, so that we can eventually down the line find another painting like that one and be like, we have the perfect wall for this. Because if everything is filled, you've got no space. Look at the comparison between Europe and Africa. Europe, overdeveloped, no space for nothing. Look at Africa, man. There's a world of possibilities out here when you travel the continent. So that's the exciting part of it, is that we constantly have things to work on. Cobblestone, inspired by Portuguese life. When you go to Portugal, all the streets are like this. When you talk about raw, unplastered walls, you know, why? Why do I need to plaster it? It looks dope like this. It fits with our tones. The chairs, all refurbished. I didn't get new chairs, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't get new chairs not because it's cheap. I got new chairs because it's also important to repurpose things. Why? Why buy new chairs if there's old chairs out there that we could just work on and bring into the space?
Preservation again.
Preservation again, dude, spot on. So yeah, the terracotta, you know, it's like these things are down to earth, these things are raw, these things are classic. There's terracotta, bro, is way beyond mine and your parents' lifetime. It was around time, it was pottery, just like around for years, centuries. So we take inspiration from that, and again, like I said to you, artistry is not just a name. Artistry needs to be a culture itself. And we're constantly working towards that with everything that we do.
Yeah,
from the bricks to the fish and chips. It's all based on artistry.
Sure. And then so just going outside.
Yeah, let me show you outside. So, hi there. How are you?
Good.
Good, welcome.
Thank you.
So, obviously, winter is closed to keep it cozy.
Yeah.
But the idea behind this is that you are on a rooftop, right? So all these doors slide open when it's a nice day. And I want to show you one of my favorite pieces, because you guys obviously like interior and things. Repurposing and finding old furniture has to be one of the most exciting things to do, because you find so much joy. This is ladies and gentlemen, our DJ booth, right? So we normally place it over here, and it's an old vinyl radio FM thing that we found, and we put the CDJs on top, and normally we have saxophone out here. We've got guitars jamming with the DJs, and you can imagine everybody's just hanging out. Some people are here watching the sunset. Some people are at the pool deck, lounging on the pool chairs. Some people are eating. It's just a
Experience.
The rooftop is obviously where majority of the action takes place. The listening bar, we are yet to open it on a daily. We're working towards that. Obviously, we've got to get more staff and so forth. And also, we've got to feel like we're ready. And the theater obviously happens when it's activated. But this is essentially, if you come into artistry, you're probably going to end up here. It's the first step of the journey in my mind. I want to come for dinner, then I want to grab a drink, then I want to go and watch something in the theater, then I want to come out and have an after party, and then I want to grab an Uber and go home, or I want to check into Black Brick and stay for the night.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea behind it.
And also with the partnership with Black Brick, and don't want to generalize, but the archetypal person and also the type of vibe that they're pushing, was it so strategic to be in close proximity with them? So the typical person that comes to Black Brick, normally maybe an artist, freelancer, someone who's already can assimilate to this type of environment easily.
Yeah. I mean, like, you know, the partnership is very important to everybody. It is a collaboration. It's a partnership. So you need to understand I don't know what example to give you, but if you, for example, go to a Jewish area like Norwood and you put up a pork joint that's selling pork chops and pork buns, you're probably not strategically thinking well, because you need to think about that. So business requires strategy, culture requires strategy, like I mentioned to you earlier on, strategy and leadership. So for me, the partnership with Black Brick not only was it where it was birthed. So it was birthed because of Black Brick. I'm here, Artistry's here because of Black Brick. Their target audience, their ethos, their philosophy has spilled over into artistry, of course. It's also a very cool new school way of approaching hospitality, and they still carry the classic way of doing hospitality, but they bring in what they believe will one day be the future of hospitality. In other words, one day it will be perceived as the new timeless classic. We believe that. So Black Brick, very important to us. It's a community. Once you live here, you become part of the family. Once you stay here, you're part of the family. It's just it's a community.
Yeah, it's a community. Yeah. And just lastly, from my side, sort of walking through the spaces, like speaking about the theater and the different types of acts, like imagining you get through each different levels of success, and someone might come here and see this place all kitted out, is looking beautiful now, and seeing where you are now, you might not think about the challenges it took to get to this space. What are some of like the challenges that you had in terms of getting to where you are in terms of artistry?
I think with anything, if I could apply that question to anything and everything that I've done, the biggest challenge is always mental. Yeah. Do you really think you can do this? Do you like there's a million voices in your head saying, dude, you don't have the time, you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the capacity. It's a mental battle. It's like, now I'm releasing a new song on Friday. I've done this for 12, 13 years. I'm still shit scared about it. My mind still asks me, like, are you worthy of people's time? Are you worthy of people's attention? Do you think they're gonna like it? And it's a nerve-wracking experience, but that's the thrill of entrepreneurship. That's the thrill of being a creative. I've got a million voices in my head telling me I'm not good enough. I don't think you can do this. And then that's been the biggest challenge, is always to get on top of those and be like, fuck that. I got this. I got this. And you know what the truth is? Who knows, bro? Who knows if you got this or not? You're gonna find out if you try.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, right? You miss every shot that you didn't take. That idea. And I just want to shoot, man. I just want to try. Like, why not? I'm not going to spend my time not trying because I'm scared. I've got to conquer that fear and go for it. So yeah, mental challenge, probably the hardest. Million other challenges, but that would be the biggest one.
100%. I think for us, that's probably one of the biggest things that we battle on a daily basis. That mental, like the things you said, can I do this? Why am I doing this? Why don't I just,
Sure.
wanted to just do the normal thing.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you a lot of problems, but I think when you do have those dreams and they're constantly speaking towards you, you have to try.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, you try. And I think
Exactly.
so. Just bringing this to a close. I mean, I've enjoyed this tour. This has been incredible. Just we found so much inspiration just from chatting
Thank you,
towards
bro.
you. Some of the things you spoke about, the things that we're dealing with on a daily basis, and the core values that you have here are things that we hold in high regard. So having a community, providing quality, providing a platform for people. The reason why we showed these homes in the beginning was because when we were younger watching Top Billion,
Yeah,
we
of
used
course.
to say one day,
Yes.
one day. And we decided to sort of share those homes to give people that feeling that we had, so to inspire people. So I'd like to thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, brother.
And if you guys do want to check out an incredible space in Joburg, come and check it out. And yeah, this has been incredible. Thank you so much again.
Thank you. And anybody, any creative that's out there that's watching, if you ever want to come and dream at Artistry, I've got a whole team of people here that are willing to dream with you. So don't only come to have a drink and have some food. I encourage everybody to come here and come and dream and see what we can do, you know. Anything is possible. I really believe in that. So thank you. Appreciate
so
you
much,
guys.
man.
One love. Peace out. Boom.
All right, let's rock and roll.
It's rock and roll, brother.
So let's get to the name, right? Artistry. So it has an obvious connection to successful professional career as an artist, right? So you've mentioned the bits and pieces of that now explaining, but I want to know, what does this space have in connection with the concept of artistry, and how would the guests experience that when they visit you?
Yeah, you know, one thing is creating a name, but the name needs to really stand for something for me. For example, Mi Casa. Mi Casa means my house. It was not chosen because it's like sounds cool.
Yeah.
Mi Casa, and once you meet me and now you have met me, is that Mi Casa is about inclusivity. When you say Mi Casa es su casa, my house is your house. It's not like, hey man, I'm a celebrity and I'm famous and you are down there. Nah, man. We're nothing without our people. A home is nothing without its people. So Mi Casa as a name was chosen specifically. And then to come to Artistry, for me it was, I want to call this place Artistry. Artistry as a name, when you define it, artistry by definition is when a human being applies their creative skill towards something with the ambition of creating something timeless. So when I write a song, I don't want a song to be popular for one summer. This bores me. Why? Why would I ever want to create something so short-sighted? I want to create something that can last, that can be around, that can be talked about for summers. The same mentality kind of gets applied here. It's about creating something that can one day be looked back on as something that has stood the test of time. So Artistry is a platform for the artists. It's a platform where here at my kitchen, they don't see themselves as chefs. They see themselves as artists. When you are a waiter, you're not a waiter, man. You're here to explore the artistry behind service, because that's how you become a really great waiter. So everything here has been inspired by its name. So with that, Artistry, it needs to be relatable, it needs to be inclusive, pricing point needs to be thought out of. Even though we're in Sandton, we can't be charging an arm and a leg for things because creatives are coming here. And creatives are hustlers, we are entrepreneurs. We don't, yeah, it's a dream that requires a lot of patience and hustle. So the name kind of helps us to take inspiration to everything. If it doesn't stand within that box of artistry, then we probably shouldn't be doing it.
Sheesh. So I can relate with that a lot. And speaking of classics, right, and things that stand the test of time, I think it's 12 years ago now.
Yeah.
You had arguably what was your breakout hit single, right, along with Mi Casa.
These streets, yes sir.
So yeah, you shook the block with that one. So, I mean, back then, 12 years ago, if someone had told you that in 2023, there was space such as this, you did give us a glimpse of that idea and how you feel about that. What would you have said to that person who told you in a place like this in Sandton?
It's always easier to reflect on success than to preempt success. So at that time in my life, I was 20 years old, man. I wanted to write a song. We actually, like, the whole thing was mental because we met by chance. We freestyled together without knowing each other on a stage, on a rooftop in Sandton. And 3 months later, we got into the studio without knowing each other. And good morning to the world on pen and paper.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what I was doing. I was just talking about how I was feeling about being in Joburg. I come from a small town in the Eastern Cape. Like, when you arrive here, you're like, damn, dude, I'm in the city, you know, like I'm in the big city. So those moments, what would I have said to myself then? I don't know. But I think if I could give anybody advice, which then I would apply to myself, is just to say, one day at a time, man. Like, just enjoy the ride of life. It's such a privilege to be alive, dude. It's such a privilege to be having breath in our lungs and to be able to even think about, I want to make a video for YouTube. It's crazy what you guys are doing. You guys are traveling around, creating content, hoping that it pops, hoping that you can monetize, hoping that you can showcase. That obviously has to be your passion points, you know, because you obviously love what you're doing. Same applies for me, man. One day you could be owning a platform like Netflix. Who knows? One day you could be getting paid hundreds of thousands of rands to go and showcase a platform in New York. Let's prop in. Who knows, man? Like, you know, it's not so much about what would I have said. It's actually important of like, what are you saying to yourself right now? Because I have bigger dreams. That first song, it was cool, but I want a global Billboard #1. That's what I want. So, and then on to the next stream. So we continuously updating our dream list, continuously challenging ourselves, seeing how far I can stretch myself. I'm hella curious about myself and my own journey. So yeah, I don't know what I would have said, but I guess now I constantly tell myself like, dude, you've got today. How are we gonna milk the ish out of this day? That's the plan. And then when I go to bed, I have a routine. I look in the mirror and I'm like, are you proud of yourself, dude? And I hope every day that one day at a time I can say, you did a good job, boy. On to the next one, hopefully.
Now, you kind of jumped the gun there a little bit with what was going to be my final question, right? So I was going to speak to you about your running mantra, saying it one day at a time.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you whether you feel as though artistry, along with the other amazing achievements, do you believe that artistry is one of the testaments or an embodiment, I could say, of that running mantra, just taking it one day at a time and anything extraordinary?
Every single part of your life, every single step of the way is part of your story. Everything. Even the hardest times of your life, they cannot be excluded. You cannot look things in isolation. You can't just see success without seeing hardship. You have to see it collectively. You have to start understanding or embrace. This is me talking to myself. I'm not lecturing you. Yeah, this is how I speak to myself, is that through the shittest times of my life, the hardest moments of my life is where I've received the greatest gifts. So now my whole perspective has changed. When things are going well, I'm like, cool. And then when things are going really hard, I'm like, I'm woke in the hardship. Because what is it? What is here? Why is this happening? What can I learn? How can I grow? Because the worst thing that can happen to us in life, I guess, is for it to just end. And that will be the end. But I'm living a life now, and it kind of talks to one day at a time, is that often I sit in bed with my wife and I'm like, you know, in the most beautiful way, if life ends tomorrow, just know that I'll be really happy. Whenever it ends, I would have been happy. So one day at a time. The other cool thing that changed my life was somebody said to me, what would you like to look back on when this is all over? It applies to everything that I do. When my career with Mi Casa is over, when Artistry closes its doors, when today is over, what would I like to look back on that will make me feel like, fuck, dude, I did a great job, man. Well done, boy. What a vibe. I was a good person. I lived a happy life. And yeah, one day at a time, so we continue soldiering on. But Artistry is definitely a testament to, dude, I posted videos on Instagram of what I was cooking. And then people were like, oh my God, he's a chef. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just Googling some recipes, asking my mom for some advice and trying out some cookbooks with my wife. Like, that's kind of how I got here. It's a lot of, I feel really blessed to be where I am. Because I dreamt of this as a kid. It's what I wanted. I wanted to entertain people. I wanted to sing. And now I get to do it every day for what we call a living. It's a lot of fun.
Sheesh. Well, that was really inspirational, I could say,
thank you, man.
There's a lot that I relate to, both myself and Spear, on our journey as well. So
it's dope, man. I'm proud of you guys. It's always daunting chasing the things that we want because sometimes they don't fit into boxes, you know? But who gives a shit about boxes? I don't want to be in a box. I just want to be free, man. I want to explore freely without any, like, this is what you should do. Nah, man, how can you tell me with my little life, my one life that I have, you want to tell me how to do this thing? Can I just figure this shit out for myself? You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the thing, man. And so yeah, I'm proud of you guys, and I wish you guys all the best, and I'm glad to be a part of it in whatever way it is.
Awesome, thank you, man.
What a vibe.